My name is Astha Bhaskar and I am a student of MBA program of IIM Trichy, and I am going to present my presentation on for the IEP course of IIM Trichy for the year 2019-2021, and the topic is informal economy or the shadow economy. So, an informal economy or grey economy is the part of economy that is neither taxed nor monitored by any form of government. Other concepts that can be characterized as informal sector can include the black market, shadow economy, underground economy, agorism, and system D. The original use of the informal sector is attributed to the economic developmental model put forward by W. Arthur Lewis, used to describe employment or livelihood generation primarily within the developing world. The term is also useful in describing and accounting for forms of shelter or living arrangements that are similarly unlawful, unregulated, or not afforded protection of the state. The characteristics of the informal sector is largely characterized by several qualities, such as skills gained outside of a formal education, easy entry, a lack of stable employer-employee relationships, and a small scale of operations. The spectrum ranges from self-employment or unpaid family labor to street vendors, shoe shiners, or junk collectors. On the higher end of the spectrum are upper tier informal activities such as small-scale service or manufacturing businesses which have more limited entry. While participation and the informal sector can be stigmatized, many workers engage in informal ventures by choice for either economic or non-economic reasons. Economic motivations include the ability to evade taxes, the freedom to circumvent regulations and licensing requirements, and the capacity to maintain certain government benefits. As the International Labour Organizations defined the informal sector in 2002, the informal sector does not include the criminal economy. While production or economic arrangements in the informal sector may not be strictly legal, the sector produces and distributes legal goods and services. The criminal economy produces illegal goods and services. The informal economy also does not include the reproductive or care economy, which is made up of unpaid domestic work, meaning it produces goods and services for sale and profit. Unpaid domestic work and care activities do not contribute to them, and as a result are not a part of it. Now I am going to delineate some of the statistics of the informal economy. The statistics of the informal economy are unreliable by virtue of the subject, yet they can provide a tentative picture of its relevance. For example, informal employment makes up 58.7% of non-agricultural employment in Middle East, North Africa, and 64.6% in Latin America, 79.4% in Asia, and 80.4% in Sub-Saharan Africa. If agricultural employment is included, the percentages rise in some countries like India and Sub-Saharan African countries beyond 90%. Estimates for developed countries are around 15%. In recent surveys, the informal economy and in many regions has declined over the past 20 years to 2014. In Africa, the share of the informal economy has decreased to an estimate of around 40% of the economy. In developing countries, the largest part of informal work, around 70%, is self-employed. Now, there are certain measures for the shadow economy. Measurement is very difficult because of the very nature of shadow economic activity. In general, there are three methods of assessment of the size of the shadow economy that are used. Direct procedures at a micro level that aim at determining the size of the shadow economy at one particular point in time. An example is the survey method. The second is indirect procedures that make use of macroeconomic indicators in order to proxy the development of the shadow economy over time. And the third is statistical models that use statistical tools to estimate the shadow economy as an under-observed variable. The most commonly used method of measurement is based on a combination of the multiple indicator multiple cost, that is MIMIC procedure, and on the currency demand method. The MIMIC procedure assumes that the shadow economy remains an unobserved phenomena which can be estimated using quantitatively measurable causes of shadow economy activity as well as indicators of illicit activity. The cause will include variables such as the tax burden and the intensity of regulation, and the indicators will include variables such as demand for currency, official nation economic figures, and official working hours data. A disadvantage of the MIMIC procedure is that it produces only relative estimates of the size and development of the economy. Thus, the currency demand method is used to calibrate the relative value into absolute value estimates. Some of the pros of the shadow economy are: first one, high taxes and social security contributions and heavy regulation are the main drivers of it. Second, resources not being used in the official economy can be used in the shadow economy to increase overall supply of goods and services. Third, opinions of how to deal with the labor force in the shadow economy differ widely. Fourth, government try to encourage firms to move out of the shadow economy by improving public institutions. And the fifth, fostering stronger population participation in government decision making, expanding elements of direct democracy, and eliminating corruption can also reduce the shadow economy. But as there are some cons, so the first one would be the shadow economy is hard to measure and different methods yield different results. Some measurement difficulties occur because the shadow economy is not clearly defined. Third one, by worsening fiscal deficits and reducing infrastructure investment, the shadow economy reduces welfare and economic growth. The shadow economy can undermine state institutions, leading to more crime and less support for institutions, ultimately threatening economic and political development. Fourth, trying to reduce the shadow economy through punitive fines and tighter controls is quite costly and not very effective. There are some drivers of the shadow economy, and that can be described as follows. First one, tax and social security contribution burdens. Second one, quality of state institutions. Third, labor market regulations. Fourth, transfer payments. Fifth, public sector services. Sixth, tax morale and influence of all other factors. The statistical estimation of the determinants of the shadow economy can be. There are certain hypotheses that works behind this. So, an increase in the direct and indirect taxation increases the shadow economy. An increase in social security contributions increases the shadow economy. The higher the level of regulation, the greater the incentives are to work in the shadow economy. The lower the quality of state institutions, the greater the incentives are to work in the shadow economy. The lower tax morale, the greater the incentives are to work in the shadow economy. The higher is the unemployment, the more people engage in shadow economic activities. The lower GDP per capita is in a country, the higher is the incentive to work in this sector. Now, how to tackle the shadow economy through various measures? Some of them could be by improving detection, by increasing penalties, by deterring entry into this sector, by encouraging movement out of the shadow economy, and the commitment to tax morality, combining various policy approaches and measures. It has certain effects on the official economy as well. A change in the size of shadow economy may be reflected in a change in, first, monetary indicators. Shadow economy transactions tend to be in cash. Rising activity in the shadow economy is likely to push up the demand for currency. Second, labor market participation rates and working hours. As growing numbers of people work in the hidden sector, participation rates in the official economy may fall. Similarly, as people work more hours in the hidden sector, hours worked in the official economy may fall. Third, output statistics. As the shadow economy grows, production inputs, especially labor, move at least partly out of the official economy. This displacement may depress the official growth rate of the economy. Thank you very much.